They told you that freedom means doing whatever you want. No rules, no limits, no one to tell you no. But the irony is this: the more we chase that kind of freedom, the less free we become. Because real freedom isn't about removing all boundaries, it's about finding the right ones. Without them, you don't become free, you become lost. Look around you. Modern life is built on the idea of choice: infinite scrolling, endless streaming, thousands of options at your fingertips. We've been told that happiness lies in having more options, more flexibility, more control. But too much choice doesn't liberate you, it paralyzes you. When everything is possible, nothing feels meaningful. And that's the paradox of modern freedom. We've removed the walls, but also the purpose. The ancient philosophers understood something we've forgotten. Freedom isn't about doing what you want, it's about wanting what is right. Because when your desires control you, you're not free, you're enslaved to your appetites, to your emotions, to your ego, to your phone. You think you're free because you can go anywhere, buy anything, say anything, but you can't go a day without checking your notifications. You can't eat without scrolling. You can't rest without distraction. You can't be alone without panic. That's not freedom. That's addiction dressed as independence. Real freedom begins when you master yourself, when you can say no to what enslaves you, when you can choose virtue over impulse, when your will is stronger than your desires. The great paradox is that discipline, the very thing modern culture rejects, is what actually makes you free. A person who can't control their impulses is like a city without walls. Every temptation, every craving, every fear, it all walks right in and takes over. But the person who can stand firm, who can say no even when it hurts, that person is untouchable. That's real power. That's real freedom. Today, freedom has been redefined. It's no longer about truth or virtue. It's about preference. We've replaced moral freedom with emotional freedom. But the freedom to do wrong isn't freedom at all. It's decay. Think about it. Every addiction begins with the phrase, "I'm free to do what I want." But by the time it ends, you're not choosing anymore. You're obeying. That's how the illusion works. Modern culture preaches freedom but sells obedience to algorithms, to trends, to consumption. You're told to be yourself, but they define who that self should be. You're told to think for yourself, but they hand you the opinions to choose from. You're told to live your truth, but you're punished if it doesn't match theirs. So, what kind of freedom is that? The problem isn't that we love freedom too much, it's that we've misunderstood what it means. Freedom without truth becomes chaos. Freedom without virtue becomes slavery. A man who cannot govern himself will always be ruled by someone else. And that's exactly what we see today. People chained not by tyrants, but by their own desires, chained by convenience, comfort, and fear. We call it progress, but it's regression. Because true freedom doesn't come from escaping limits. It comes from aligning with truth. Here's the hard reality. You can't be free from pain. You can't be free from responsibility. You can't be free from consequence. But you can choose what you'll serve. Because everyone serves something. Some serve pleasure. Some serve status. Some serve fear. And some serve truth. The only question is, who is your master? You see, freedom isn't the absence of authority, it's the right relationship to it. The freest people in history weren't the ones who did whatever they wanted. They were the ones who had the courage to do what was right no matter the cost. Think of Socrates, who chose death over hypocrisy, or Christ, who chose the cross over comfort. They were freer in chains than most people are with Wi-Fi and unlimited data. Why? Because they were ruled by truth, not by impulse. Freedom is not found in rebellion. It's found in mastery. And mastery is built through sacrifice. You can't have both freedom and indulgence. You can't have both peace and chaos. You can't serve both truth and comfort. Modern man wants both and ends up with neither. Every act of self-denial is an act of freedom. Every temptation resisted is a victory. Every moment you choose patience over anger, discipline over distraction, purpose over pleasure, you take one step closer to liberation. That's the kind of freedom that no government, no culture, no tyrant can take away. Because it doesn't depend on the outside world, it depends on your soul, and that's why Christ said, "The truth will set you free." Not entertainment, not money, not power, truth. Freedom without truth is just a beautiful prison, and most of us are sitting comfortably inside it. You can have a full bank account and an empty heart. You can have unlimited access and zero peace. You can have freedom, but still live as a slave to yourself. Real freedom is costly. It demands that you die to your ego, to your comfort, to your illusions. It demands courage, not comfort, conviction, not convenience, and truth, not trend. So ask yourself, what kind of freedom do you want? The freedom to do whatever you want, or the freedom to become who you're meant to be? Because one leads to chaos, the other to peace. And the strange thing is, when you finally find real freedom, you don't even need to prove it anymore. You simply live it calmly, quietly, strongly. That's the kind of freedom that changes everything, and it begins the moment you stop chasing it.